Good morning. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Mahsa Yazdaninia.
And I'm Jana Abbas. Here are some of the stories we're following this morning from the On the Record newsroom. We begin with a follow-up to a story you'll have seen on our OTR News website. 2 TMU security guards have been reassigned after forcefully ejecting a TMU student who was protesting at a campus event on Friday. She and 7 others were protesting at the Democracy Forum, where Toronto MP and newly appointed Cabinet Minister Evan Solomon was speaking. Both security guards have been moved to a different assignment and will not return to campus while they are under review.
Now let's have a look at the other stories we're working on today and this week here in the newsroom. Standing by in the newsroom is Mahsa Yazdaninia. Mahsa, what have you got for us?
Thank you, Naja. Our reporter Ria Sidhu has got 2 big stories lined up for us. The first one, a campus classic, is calling it quits. The Imperial Pub will close on November 15th. The gloriously grimy pub has been on the corner of Dundas and Victoria since 1944. That makes it even older than what began as the Ryerson Institute of Technology, now TMU, which opened 4 years later. The property's been sold to a, wanna guess, developer, and of course students aren't happy. For anyone who's ever studied here, it's been the spot to study, hang out, and party. Now it's about to become another piece of urban history. So watch for Ria's story about that. And looking way ahead, she'll also report for our broadcast closer to mid-November when the Imperial will be closing up. And over at the TMSU, they're gearing up for a big meeting. Now here at OTR, we are not calling the TMU dysfunctional, but others do. Without going into all the detail, because that's what Ria is going to do, there's a special general meeting next Monday evening. It's going to have something to do with last spring's non-elections, and the fact that now they want to defer elections even longer, into 2026. And there's a forensic accounting firm involved. Anyway, as I say, Ria will be there and we'll bring those details next week. And finally, some bad news for Toronto's music lovers. Small concert venues are vanishing faster than the last slice of pizza at a jam session. Yep, it's the Affordability Crisis remix. And this track is putting Toronto's live music scene on pause. That means fewer stages for up-and-coming artists and fewer late nights discovering your next favorite band. The city that once turned up the volume on live shows is now hitting the mute button. Cue the sad trombone. Jenna Gitlin has that story for us. Back to you in studio, Jenna.
Thanks, Mahsa. A Tory MPP has been booted from the government caucus at Queen's Park. Chris Scott represents the riding of Sault Ste. Marie. He was charged by police on Friday with assault and assault with a weapon.
Marineland is asking the federal government for permission to export the remainder of its beluga whales. CBC News is reporting that the amusement park and zoo in Niagara Falls has applied for permits with the federal government to export all of its 30 of its belugas. The park did not open this year. That caused concern for the welfare of the animals that remain there. The CBC says 19 belugas have died at Marineland since 2019.
U.S. President Donald Trump says Tylenol causes autism. Not only Tylenol, but acetaminophen, the active ingredient. Trump did not provide new evidence to prove the existence of this link, and the New York Times and others say no scientific link has been proven. Trump urged pregnant women not to take Tylenol. He said that they should tough it out when they're in pain.
Wild times in the entertainment industry as well, but that's for us to hear from our reporter on the beat this week, Aia Jaber. What have you got for us, Aia?
Thanks. The entertainment world is seeing some pretty insane stories right now. Starting with, it's official, Jimmy Kimmel Live is back. It was nearly a week ago that Disney said it was taking his show off the air for what they said would be an indefinite period. But tune in tonight, the Jimmy Kimmel Show is expected to get some of its highest ratings in the 22 years it's been on the air. The whole thing began after Kimmel made comments about the assassination of the right-wing influencer Charlie Kirk. Disney said the comments were ill-timed. Turning Point USA is the organization founded by Kirk a dozen years ago. It says Disney and ABC caved by allowing the show back on air. Also, hundreds of celebrities had jumped into the debate in robust public comments and a petition. And the whole thing really blew up into a running commentary about the free speech in the United States. In other news, fraternity drama We might need a family tree for this one, but here's what we're hearing from E! News. Rapper Cardi B has spoken out about her NFL star boyfriend Stefon Diggs' paternity drama, and she is unbothered. Diggs is currently being sued by Eileen Lopera, who goes by Lord Giselle, and she claims that he is the father of her 5-month-old daughter. He says the baby is not his and has requested genetic testing. But as this goes down, his current girlfriend, Cardi, is pregnant with her 4th child, and he is the father. Cardi reacted to the whole thing on her Instagram Live, where she played Shirley Brown's song, Woman to Woman. And for those who don't know, the song describes a woman reaching out to her partner's mistress. Do we think the child is his or not? Maybe we should run a poll. On second thought, let's not. Back to the serious news, singer D4VD or whatever has canceled his upcoming US tour. This comes as Los Angeles police investigate the killing 2 weeks ago of a 15-year-old girl. The girl's body was found in a car registered to the singer. Police have not named any suspects. David has not commented. And that's all for entertainment. Back to you, folks.
Ever wanted to meet a past student so you could ask for tips and tricks to avoid getting lost through Kerr Hall? Well, this past weekend, TMU brought together alumni from certain graduating years back as far as 1960. It was a chance for reporter Mariela Torroba Hennigan, along with producer Aia Jaber, to go along and find out more about what it was like around here decades ago.
The jam-packed day started in the lobby of the Student Learning Center, welcoming alumni and current students to mingle with one another and share career tips. Alumni from 1950 were invited, but they didn't come. We can only imagine why. In true 2025 fashion, naturally the conversation of artificial intelligence is brought up. It sounds like the alumni have some pretty passionate views about the role of AI in the classroom. Marsha Brown, a 2009 TMU social work graduate, says it is important to incorporate when you can, but that there are limits to its use.
And if we're relying on AI, then that defeats the purpose.
Organizer Meredith Jordan says the use of AI must be responsible, but we all know that students are using it extensively for homework. Conversations about artificial intelligence in and outside the classroom are not the only thing being discussed. Alumni events such as these are great opportunities for networking. Brown also says she's happy with the university's growth.
I was here when the law school was being created and established, and now the School of Medicine. And so it just reminds me that the university isn't stagnant. We are a force to reckon with.
Alumni listen attentively to the feature presentation from Martin Reg Cohen, Toronto Star columnist and founder of TMU Democracy Forum. His talk is about media, power, and democracy.
After listening to his keynote address, the afternoon ended with a reception for its event's 140 attendees here at the SLC's 8th floor. Alumni reconnected with dear classmates, celebrated their graduation milestones, and reminisced about their alma mater. For OTR News, I'm Mariela Torroba Hennigan.
Sometimes the best laid plans go awry, but sometimes that's not even a bad thing. Some local businesses in the DuPont and Dufferin neighborhood wanted to have an art crawl, but that didn't work out. So they had a block party instead, and that did work out. OTR reporter Praise Ditep brings us the story.
It was a beautiful day for the Geary Block Party, and besides the clear blue skies and warm temperatures, there was real festival atmosphere. David, James, and the Blue Flames provided the musical backdrop, and local merchants brought color to the scene. Lots of color, and jewelry too.
Hi, my name is Satong. My business is called Shoe Collection, and I make high-quality gold-plated stainless steel jewelry that's meant to be waterproof and last long.
This event wasn't even supposed to be a block party. It was supposed to be an art crawl, but organizers said they just couldn't get the sponsorship dollars they needed. Billy Wild owns a business on the street, and he's one of the organizers who had to make the difficult decision to downgrade the event from art crawl to block party. Unfortunately, we were kind of thrown for a loop. But, he said, the business owners decided to put their own money into turning it into a block party. He said, if at least we are in control of this, we can worry about our own sponsorship. And that's just what they did. It may not have been an art crawl in the end, although Wild says they are still hoping to get that off the ground, perhaps next spring. But in the meantime, they threw a block party, lots of people came, and for a plan B, it was a pretty good alternative. For OTR News, I am Praise Ditep.
And now it's time for sports. Let's take a look at what's new in Canadian sports this week with Mariam Kourabi.
Thanks. It's been a busy few days in Canadian sports, starting with big changes announced for Canadian football. CFL Commissioner Stuart Johnston went before reporters yesterday to reveal the changes starting next season. Among them, points will no longer be awarded for field goals that fail, nor for punts or kickoffs that go through the end zone. And starting in the 2027 season, the field size will shrink from 110 to 100. Commissioner Johnston said that the changes will make our brand of football more entertaining for spectators and will do a better job of showcasing the high-level skills of players in the Canadian game. In another hard-hitting sport, the Canadian women's rugby team is going to the World Cup finals. They'll face England in the final this Saturday. That's after their astounding 34-19 semi-final victory over New Zealand. The New Zealand Black Ferns had not been defeated in a semi-final in more than 30 years, and in this tournament, we're chasing a third consecutive win. Bye-bye Black Ferns. Rugby Canada, that's the sport's governing body, launched a crowdfunding campaign last March, aiming to reach $1 million. They did that after it became clear there just weren't enough sponsors stepping forward. No matter how it goes this Saturday in the final, I think this team and the sport is going to have an easier time attracting sponsors. Over in women's soccer, a huge Ontario battle between NSL teams Ottawa Rapid and AFC Toronto. That's happening in the nation's capital on Friday night. With both teams already having clinched playoff spots, it's time to see who really is the champion of Ontario. And that's it. I'm Mariam Kourabi. Now back to you in the studio.
Thanks, Mariam. Finally, today, visualize this. 6,000 boxes of pasta, and all lined up on the floor, just like dominoes. And then, well, you know how it goes with dominoes. And that's just how it went with the pasta boxes, too. It was all for a good cause. It happened in Vaughan this past weekend. Reporter Mahsa Yazdaninia and producer Survi Sani take us there.
We're here at Vaughan Mills for the second pasta tumble. 6,000 pasta boxes have been set up by a team of 5 Domino's masters, beating last year's record of 5,000.
Welcome to Vaughan Mills' second annual Pasta Tumble for a Purpose, benefiting the Vaughan Food Bank.
6,000 pasta boxes falling like dominoes for 900 meters.
I really think it's about showing people the visual of the impact that they're making with their donations. It's really easy to do a pasta tumble, but people don't really know the impact that they've brought until they see 6,000 boxes tumbling one by one and representing a meal that feeds 6,000 families.
For city leaders, the impact of the tumble is measured in meals.
The pasta, 6,000, is about 3,000 kilos, less than 3,000 kilos, and will feed many people. 1 pound normally can feed 4 people.
One food bank feeds up to 1.5 million families each year.
Oh, it's absolutely fantastic. It brings the community together to realize what's happening in our community, not just with the generosity of the people that are working to do this to help us, but the need of the people that are here. After 34 years, it's not going down, it's going up.
The volunteers were packing up the boxes that were then to be donated to the food bank. For OTR News, I'm Mahsa Yazdaninia.
That's all for On the Record this September 22nd, 2025. I'm Jenna Abbas.
And I'm Nadia Sini. Join us for On the Record next week as we round up the latest stories from the OTR newsroom.
And for the latest 24/7, visit our website, ontherecordnews.ca. Have a great day.